I think the climate change is the biggest issue. That there's no other issues. I mean, gay marriage, abortion, police brutality, any issue you can think of. Like, there needs to be a planet.
Right.
You know, you want gays to get married? Okay, well, they can't get married if there's no Earth to get married on. You know what I mean? Like it just underlies everything. And why that isn't the number one. Why, you know, and I'm not going to call you up, but like every show, I feel like every show on TV, it should be a full hour just saying the climate's fucked, the climate's fucked. We need to recycle. We need to change things. Because that's it. That's the only thing we should be talking about, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. So I basically I more or less agree. I think the best way to think about our politics now will be to go back. If you read about political debates in the 1830s or 1840s, and they debate a whole bunch of things, but the whole time you're reading about it, you're thinking like, guys, it's slavery. You got to figure this out, right? And then they have all sorts of things. They pass all sorts of bills. They do this. They do that. And the whole time, in fact, the way that we read backwards into American history is that we read backwards into American history. The only thing they were talking about is slavery, which is partly true, but actually isn't. They did a whole bunch of other stuff, and they had all sorts of debates about stuff that to us now seems preposterously arcane.
When there's slavery overhanging.
That's right. That's exactly right. So the way that a lot of our debates will look 50, 60, 70, 100 years hence is like
that's
that.
Exactly.
Right? They say, what exactly were you doing about? And I even say there's things that I care about. The salience of that issue, the importance of it from a sort of global historical sense, is so far above anything else we deal with. Yeah. And the hard thing is that it's abstract. I mean, one of the things that's interesting about this China Pact is, in China, right? In the U.S. the problem is carbon is invisible, right? You can't see it. There's a lot of carbon in this room. We're all exhaling it. You can't see it. China, which is built, just an ungodly amount of coal-fired power plants, that stuff is visible in the air. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of the Beijing Marathon. Did everyone see that? Right, so they ran this marathon in Beijing, and the air quality is terrible, and people were running in full gas masks, or they're running with like those like sort of iconic like SARS masks that they rock. Sometimes
they're very fashionable there.
Yeah, well, you see tourists rocking them on the New York City subway sometimes. You're like, what do you know that I don't know?
Exactly.
Should I be? So you saw this, and the fact of the matter is, in China, the source of carbon emissions is the same source of the tremendous air pollution they have there, and the fact that it's visible is actually advantageous from a political perspective, because there has been this tremendous political pressure put on the elites there.
Right.
That we can't breathe and we can't see, and like you need to deal with this. And so part of what brought about this remarkable epochal moment yesterday was the fact that people they literally walk out of their freaking apartment and they say to themselves, this is madness.
Yeah. So we need something like that, a physical manifestation here.
Dude, if we had, if you could in the way that, biologists will stain a cell underneath the microscope, right? If you could do that with carbon in the air, you would absolutely transform carbon politics. If you could see it, if it was there, if it was around you and omnipresent, you were perceptually experiencing it at all times, it would be a revolutionary in how people perceive the problem. The problem is the thing is happening literally invisibly. You can't taste it, you can't smell it, you can't see it, and you can't feel it. But it is happening there in the background, and it's going to do these things that will diffusely, completely fuck up everything.
Right.
And we don't have the power as human beings to understand at a perceptual level what exactly the stakes of it are. And so that's the mismatch. And that's the reason that when you run a cable news show like I do, you can't start every night with, well, there's even more carbon in the air today.
Yeah. Have a carbon.
What do you show?
A carbon counter.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know. Or how about just a bunch of dead frogs from the Amazon? Just gather them all up and throw them out. Put them on the White House lawn or something.
Did you notice China doesn't need like an EPA? A couple weeks ago, they just shut down all the businesses in Beijing because all the political leaders were coming. They shut down the city.
They shut it all down.
And then the air cleaned up.
That's right. Well, this is a great detail, right? So in China, they have this APEC summit. All these people are coming. They don't want to be embarrassed by the poor air quality. So what do? They just shut down everything. The coal-fired power plants, the factories, everything. So they clear the air. And actually, people on Weibo and other social media in China were enraged about it. They think, oh, you do this for for Barack Obama or for, whatever world leaders, and you don't do it for us, and it occasioned a backlash for exactly that reason.